Hello, everybody. This is your boy, Dennis Turner, aka the boy from the ditch. Just wanted to let you know we headed down to Tunica, Mississippi, back down to Sugar Ditch Alley, where it all started. Going back down to speak with some youth today at a Literacy Council Awards banquet. I kind of have some mixed emotions about this whole venture. Tunica, you know, it's such a, it's a place that, for me, it's a lot of memories, and not all of them are really good. A lot of painful memories, but I look forward to the task. Anytime I can give back, you know, that's what I do. And so you guys get ready on. Take this journey with me. I do want to film this. I wanted you guys to see Tunica, how it's changed in some parts, in some ways, but how it still remains the same in others. So we want to do our part to make a difference. So get ready to take this ride with me, this journey, as we go back down to where it all started. Sugar Ditch, Tunica, Mississippi.
Tell me when you're gonna let me take that away.
Finally made it here to Tunica. This is the Tunica Library, and as you can see over here, this is the courthouse and old Tunica jailhouse right here. Bring back lots of memories. Not that I was ever arrested, but just the place. We're getting ready to go in and speak to the young people, give them some more inspiration. So come on in and join us. I was sitting here and I'm thinking, I have to make some adjustments in my speech. And I'm reading the program and I'm like, wow, the vision of this council, it just grabbed me. It said that it is where all, not some, not a few, but all youth and adults have the opportunity to build a successful life for themselves and the community through literacy. All. What is that saying? Opportunity. Opportunity. I just want to bring out a few points tonight. And I just want to talk real to you, because the point is being missing in our community, and that is opportunity. We're not taking advantage of opportunities. I was able to go to college. I was able to finish college. I was able to go on to graduate school. And I did not allow where I was born or the experience that I had to come through stop me. Each and every time there was an opportunity. How many times do we pass up on opportunities? The one question I ask youth today when I see them is this: have you taken advantage of every opportunity afforded to you? Have you exhausted all possibilities of being successful that was given to you and presented to you? If you cannot depend on anyone else, you can depend on yourself. If you cannot call anyone else, you can pull up your bootstraps and call on yourself. My education was not easy. I had a rough start. It took me 5 years, 5.5 years to be real, to finish college. It was a monster. But you know, each and every semester, when I would fall, I got back up again. You do not let it defeat you. You have to keep trying. The one thing I would like for our youth to understand today is just because you meet an obstacle, it doesn't mean it's over. It simply means just another hurdle to jump in the race called life. That's all it means. I have a few points. Keys to success. Keys to success. Education. That's one key to success. A lot of people, when they hear that word, they start to panic and they start to think about what they cannot do. But yet, we're being educated daily. We've been educated since the day we were born. Someone had to teach us how to tie our shoes. Someone had to teach us how to eat. Someone had to teach us how to drive. Someone had to teach us how to write. And thank God for the Literacy Council. Someone has to teach us how to read. We are learning every day, but sometimes we allow obstacles to become mountains, and we make them unmovable in our own minds. We have to change the way we think. I tell the youth daily, if you can think, you can achieve it. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. So education is a key. You know, I thought about these keys and I said, what happened once you get the keys? What happens when you get the keys? I remember when I bought my house with my wife and I, we bought our first home together. And oh boy, it was an experience. I mean, we drove in this cul-de-sac day in and day out saying, that's the house we want. And I'm a believer. So I talk to God every day and I said, God, you said I'm your child. That's the house we want. Every day we will ride in the cul-de-sac, stop and just pray for that home, my wife and I. And it took 6 months. It was a short sale, but it took 6 months for us to get the answer. And one day, boom, out of the blue, we got the call. You're approved. It's gone through. We close tomorrow. I was looking so forward to having those keys in my hand. The keys to my house. But the thought came, now that we have these keys, what are we gonna do? We have all this space to fill. We don't have any furniture. We came from an apartment. What are we gonna do when maintenance comes? Wow, the upkeep of the property. What are we gonna do once we get the keys? And that's what brings me to my 4 P's. My 4 P's are plan, persistence, progression, and precision. Plan, persistent, progression, and precision. We planned. We drove in that cul-de-sac. We prayed over that house, but we just didn't pray, because prayer without works and faith without works is. So we had to save our money. We had to make some sacrifices financially, go without some things, not go out to eat, not go to the movies, save your money. We had to make plans. If you do not plan, you are ultimately planning to fail. You must plan. The second thing is persistent. Every single day, every evening, we will ride. We only live about 7 minutes from the home. Ride down there, ride in the cul-de-sac, and do our prayer. Every pay period, we will put a certain amount of money to the side and save our money. Persistence. You know, I have a son. Oh man, I have a young son. Oh my gosh. He's 4, has more energy than everyone in here put together. Oh my gosh, he never sleeps. He hates naps time. You know, so his grandfather get this bright idea, said, you know, I'm gonna give this young man a tablet for his birthday. I go, oh Lord, don't do that. You know, he is 4 years old. So he bought him a tablet. So you know how grandparents are. They just love spoiling the grands. So he gets this tablet and he is on it nonstop every day. I have to finally break him. He's spending hours. My wife get the tablet. We find out he has downloaded so many apps. It's just, we couldn't count them. We had to go and delete them all. We had to censor this 4-year-old. So what we did was we said, okay, you get 2 hours a day on your tablet. That's it. Put a code on it so you cannot surf and do all what you want to do on it. The good thing is he's an honest 4-year-old. So all the apps were games, friendly games, nothing bad. But the thing is, when we gave him that 2-hour limit, every single day, after those 2 hours is spent, and he's been away from that tablet about an hour or 2, he comes, Dad, can I use my tablet? No. Dad, can I mean, every single day. That's the most persistent little 4-year-old I've ever met. But he was persistent. Awesome. I said, wow, I hope you stay that way because you're going to need it. That's part of Daddy's 4 P's. The next is progression. Progression. Progressive, I'm sorry. Sometimes we need to be progressive in our thinking. Sometimes we need to be progressive in our actions. You know, when I was in school, and there was a teacher that I was having trouble with writing. Believe it or not, I wrote a book. All right, I couldn't write. To be honest, I spent my first 3 years of college in freshman comp. I just could not get it for the life of me. But I understood something. There was a fear that I had to overcome. It was a writer's block. And one day, my professor did something very progressive, something out of the ordinary. There was this English proficiency exam that I had to pass. If you do not pass that, you do not get a degree. And so I would just fail the test every time. I panicked, failed the test. I did not understand what was going on, but she did. She figured it out. So they made you take a class if you failed that exam. And so you had to take the class and pass the class and then substitute as for the exam. So people would come in, they would pass and they go, and I did it 2 semesters. Second semester, she said, okay, it is my goal to get you out of this class. You write fine all during the year, but when we get to the test, you fail every single time. And I think I know what it is. And I'm gonna work with you. She did not tell me. This is what happened. I took the test with the rest of the class and failed it. She called me to her office that same evening and said, I am going to work with you. We are going to pass this exam and we're gonna start today. We're gonna write every day you come to my office. I was depressed. I was down and out. But there was something on the inside of me wouldn't let me quit. I wouldn't give up. And so I sat down to take the exam to practice. She said, you must start by timing yourself, just like the real exam. I'm gonna set this here. Don't pay attention to it. It's only practice. We're gonna get better. She set the timer. And once that timer went off, I gave her my exam. She said, and she's sitting there, she's grading it. She said, I'll be right back. Well, you have to have 2 pass out of 3 professors. She was taking my exam to another professor for them to grade. That professor passed me. She came back and said, Mr. Turner, congratulations. You passed the class. I said, excuse me? She said, yeah. I figured out you're having some anxiety about testing. So what I did is I tricked you into taking the exam, not knowing that this was the real deal, and you passed. Joy. Woo! I was, man, you couldn't have told me anything. I felt like I just won the NCAA championship. I was so overjoyed. She did something progressive. She was very progressive in her thinking. And I appreciate that. But I got help after that. The next one is precision. Sometimes we have to be precise in what we do. You set a goal, every plan towards your goal must be precise. You have one goal in mind. You don't stop until you get there. You don't quit until you accomplish it. And every day you're breathing is every day you're taking a step towards that goal. I had a production company out of Atlanta. I've been trying to get a movie deal to bring more attention to Tunica, to bring more attention to how things has changed and how how basically how the South is just, it's a different place with all the opportunities that we have now. Trying to bring awareness so people would come out and not be afraid of taking advantage of opportunities. So the production company said, we love your story, but we don't think it's right for the network we're looking to air it on. She said, it's too gritty. She said, it's too gritty. She said, would you be willing to rewrite it? We would definitely reconsider. And I smiled and I said, what a wonderful opportunity, but no thanks. See, when you have a goal in mind, you have to be precise in every step that you take towards your goal. And you don't give up. Even when a door closes, you don't stop knocking. You keep knocking and you keep trying and you keep pushing and you keep going. Be very precise. You don't take no for an answer. You take no for not this one, but the next one. And that, my friends, is being precise in our goal, precise in our thinking. I say to young people all the time, dream big, dream huge. When I was smaller, we used to sit and watch the cars go by. And, kids always say, oh, that's my car. Oh, my gosh, that's my car. And it was, no, that's my car. And I used to sit there and everybody be calling out their cars. And after a while, Dennis, which one of those cars? None of them. Why not? What's wrong with it? Oh, that's a nice car. It's not what I want. Well, what about that? No, I don't want that one. And then here come a Mercedes-Benz riding. I was like, that's my car. And they would all look at me and say, let's be real, man. You're never going to get that car. Says who? Precision. Precise. With planning, being persistent, being progressive. And having a precise idea in your goal set in mind, nothing can stop you from accomplishing your goals. Nothing can stop you. Along the way, I'll tell children all the time, you're going to grow up and you're going to experience some hard times. You're going to have some doors closed in your face. You're going to have death around you, in your family. You're going to have breakups and relationships to fall apart. You're going to have some business ventures that fail. But those are simply obstacles of life. They are not made to stop you They're simply there to exercise your legs to jump over. Because in the end, you're going to win. You have to stay with it. But with their pain, I tell them all the time, with the things you experience, with the hard times, there's some joy there. There's some joy, and you have to learn to find that joy. And basically, your joy is within your agony, there is an achievement. Within your affliction, there is an advantage. Within your pain, there's power. Within your struggle, there's strength. Within your weariness, you're a winner. There's a winner inside of you. Within your trials, there's triumph. Don't let anything stop you from accomplishing your goals. I tell kids all the time, the more you grow, the more you will know. Keep living and experiencing. Keep working. And to the younger generation, let your grind be your shine. Let your grind be your shine. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long it takes, it's not about the speed, but the mentality. I tell them all the time, I was in my 30s before I wrote my first book. I'm working on my next one. But I've always wanted to sing. I love singing. But I told them, I said, you know, I was almost 40 before we released our first CD. We started our first record company. It's small, but it's ours. We are in control of our music. We control what we put out. And that's being precise. I do not want to pitch it to any label because I do not want to be told. Because I have one Father that I answer to. And that's the Father that's set in heaven. And so I tell people and young people, it's never too late. The name of our company is called Tunica. And there was a young lady that I saw here in Tunica, and I think I see her father back in, her uncle. She said, you know, you have to have a logo. You need a mascot. I gave the story about the turtle and the rabbit and how the rabbit was so cocky. The turtle was not fixated on winning the race because the turtle knew man to man, hand to hand, speed, he was much slower than the rabbit. But the truth of the matter is, the turtle had a different mentality. All the turtle wanted to do was finish the race. And so the race began. And what happened in that race? The rabbit got cocky. He got overconfident. And he took a nap. And when you sleep through life, you will miss an opportunity. The turtle kept pushing. He kept moving. In the words of the young people, he kept grinding. And at the end, he won. And the turtle mentality was, it's not about the speed, but the mentality. It was the way he thought. And he thought, his thought process was simple. I want to finish the race and get whatever God has for me. So the name of our company is Turtle Nation. Because it's not about the speed. Doesn't matter how long it takes. If it's for you, then it's for you. Thank you all for having me.
Tell me when you're gonna let me take the hurt away. Love can be so much more than just words you say. Don't be afraid, 'cause yesterday